Hello and welcome to Some Dude Shed podcast. My name is Mr. Gray and I'm joined by Mr. Black.
Hello. I get some ASMR there at the start.
And Mr. Red.
Hello.
And before we get started with our game, we'll go through the more important stories of the week.
We're playing a game.
Well, you know, the fact or fiction game. Or true
That's
or
a
false
game.
Game of lies.
Well, we take it very seriously, but you know. In the news this week,
Can't believe that's a game.
Pizza Hut responds to angry customer over sauce bottle that sounded like, sounded sexual.
What did it say on the bottle?
On the bottle, now it's a bottle of ketchup, and it said, shake, squeeze, and squirt. So,
What was the sauce called?
Hmm?
What was the sauce called?
Ketchup.
Oh, just what it said on the bottle?
Yeah, it was what it said on the bottle. It was shake, squeeze, and squirt. And
that person needs a fucking shake.
yeah, and this guy called Adrian, he decided that it was offensive and it was bad. It was bad for children. He was worried that his children would see that and bad things would. To be honest, I don't really know. Really,
It sounds like he's just projecting.
yeah. I mean, if anybody looks at a ketchup bottle and sees shake, squeeze, and squirt in a ketchup sense, why would you think that would be sexual?
Because this man is obviously depraved.
He's clearly a sexual deviant.
Well, Pizza Hut has responded to his
It's literally instructions on how to use the ketchup.
It is literally instructions on how to read the ketchup. I mean, there's nothing other strange about the ketchup. The representative of Pizza Hut, after reading and saying, this guy didn't just complain; he put it on social media. That amazing thing we have,
Facebook.
Yep. Pizza Hut says, "I can only apologise if you were caused offence or upset by your recent visit to our hut. Please know it is not our intention to make any of our guests feel uncomfortable. The wording of our ketchup is not meant to cause offence, and sorry if this was interpreted this way. This has been the labelling of all ketchup bottles in our restaurants for some time now, and I can only apologise if this has impacted the enjoyment of your meal."
If anything, it's just highlighted the problem on social media.
But Adrian says, I cannot imagine anyone looking at that sauce as tomato ketchup ever again, despite the fact it's tomato ketchup.
We used to have insane asylums. We used to have full-on asylums where people would just get chucked in and forgotten about.
Well, people aren't crazy.
People like that.
People aren't crazy anymore. You're not allowed to say that. It's offensive. So, one last thing Adrian said was, I felt like I was ripped off from the brothel because I never got a chance to squirt.
What?
That's
Who wrote this article?
This article comes from the Daily Star.
The Daily Star.
The Daily Star, yes, a very trustworthy and very reputable paper.
The Daily bullshit.
So,
Kind of sounds like a story that the average builder would enjoy on his way to work.
I actually have no idea who the target audience is for the Daily Star. Could be.
Daily Star readers.
Mm-hmm.
Funny that.
Like
they make the real news. Sorry, they report on the real news. Mr. Red.
Well, my story is to do with a hiker who got lost in the Colorado mountains, and he didn't realize he was lost.
He didn't realize he was lost.
Yes.
Until
he was fine.
Until he was found.
Right. So they sent out a search party, a rescue helicopter and everything, and they found him, and he says, "No, it's just on my way back."
Well, apart from the helicopter, that's essentially it, yes. So this guy was out for a hike. After failing to report in 24 hours from the place he was staying, they automatically sent out 5 rescue teams. Members were deployed to search for him because he failed to report back.
Goodness me.
Apparently, that must be just a...
Must be quite a hike. He was gone for 24 hours.
Yes. And they were trying to ring his mobile phone, or for the Americans, cell phone. And he ignored the number.
What the hell was it?
It was a number he didn't recognize. So apparently he was repeatedly called, ignored it, because he didn't recognize the number.
Didn't think it was important.
Was he from Northern Ireland by any chance? Oh, I don't recognize the number. I'm not going to answer it.
No. So yeah, that just took up the time of 5 rescuers. And
well, nothing better to do,
basically, if you're on a hike and you fail to report in,
Is there
You
a
should answer the phone.
is there a report of what he said when he was found?
He just had no idea they were out looking for him.
So just fancy seeing you here.
The agency just said if you're overdue according to your itinerary and you start getting repeated calls from an unknown number, please answer the phone. It may be a search and rescue team trying to confirm you're safe.
How many times did they ring him? I
Mm,
imagine they would have rang him about like 10 times.
probably quite a few.
Just
You know.
says repeated attempts. It doesn't actually, but they left voicemails which went ignored as well.
All right, well.
So that's bizarre.
Nobody listens to their voicemail straight away. Like,
But it could also be the case where the guy, when he was like, the phone was probably in his bag and he didn't need the phone. So he probably just didn't hear it. It was probably on silent or something and just didn't think to answer the phone as well. But that's a great story.
so, Mr. Black, what's your.
Sorry, just on the whenever they found him again, it was whenever they went to sent out the second team set out 7 a.m. the next day, where the hikers typically lose the trail. Apparently, there's a trail they follow in the mountains, and only to discover the man had returned to the place of lodging at 9:30. So they set out 2.5 hours later. He came back, and he didn't know people were looking for him.
Well, I mean, good training exercise for the search and rescue guys. Anyway.
Bit depressing for them, though.
Yeah. They're probably getting a wee bit distraught. They're probably going, oh, where's this guy? Gonna have death on the mountain.
It just took up the time of 5 rescue workers, and that guy's like, I didn't know you were looking for me. That was it.
But how much rescuing are they doing anyway? Like, I mean, they're probably sitting there going, can't wait. Like, can't wait to get rescuing somebody today. Like, it'd probably be weeks before it's like they need to be called out for something.
Well,
You know, they're probably like, yes, finally, some action.
if I was in their position, I would kind of not want to be called out because you could find somebody that's been torn apart by a bear or something.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, it's just like, you know,
Yeah, but you don't want it to be that 10th time, do you?
where was this again?
Colorado.
Mountain lions is what I'm thinking.
Mm.
So, Mr. Black, what have you found?
Well, I get 2 stories here. This is just like a little headline, which I need to share with everybody. Royal Marines force U.S. troops to surrender just days into training exercise. Elite commandos outperformed their U.S. counterparts when trialing a new battle structure in California.
So their
That's
training
the first
was,
one.
their training was just too hard.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I can't do this. Can't hack it.
Wow.
So you go. Here's my actual story. Heathrow Airport. This actually happened 3rd November. Luggage conveyor belt filled with frozen fish crates. So people stand there waiting for their luggage and they catch a whiff of something.
A load of frozen fish.
And like all
comes
these
down.
blue crates just going around in this.
How did they manage to be put on the wrong conveyor belt?
I'm not sure. British Airways passengers have been left baffled after crates of frozen fish arrived instead of their luggage. Some woman said the boxes of sea bass and sea bream. What's a bream?
A fish, I guess.
Were delivered to Terminal 5 of Heathrow Airport on Monday. British Airways said it was reuniting customers with their bags after realizing something fishy was going on. Miss Ron Hoyts had flown from Larnaca. These are weird, made-up countries. With her husband, 2 children, aged 11 and 7. She said when they arrived at Terminal 5 and saw the frozen fish rotating on the conveyor belt, it was just the weirdest thing.
One could say it's a halibut time.
Everybody was being quite British and polite about it, but when more and more boxes kept pouring around, we all started to suspect something wasn't right. Like, I'll just show you guys.
They look like
Boxes of
frozen boxes.
Yeah. I mean, out of everything that happened last week, I think it was the best thing I could find.
That's
The horror.
the horror.
You expect bags and you get fish, like, you know.
I'm really trying to come up with a pun here. I don't know enough fish.
We just can't fathom why. At some point, one of the people loading these boxes of fish didn't think, this can't be right for Terminal 5. It's baffling, someone else said. There's no actual real explanation here. It's just explaining, you know, just some woman's horror at having fish on the conveyor belt.
That's an amazing story. So basically, your story is British Airways got wrong terminal gate.
It'd be a great movie. You had snakes on the plane. And they've
It's
got
just frozen
fish
fish on the
in a
conveyor
terminal.
It's
Anyway, there you
it'd be a very short movie. Right, now hopefully on to some more interesting
go.
stories. I
Something
hope.
more serious.
So
Well, Mr. Gray, what's your news story first?
a news story. Well, my potentially true or potentially false story.
Did you not do a news story?
Yes, I did. Maybe the guy who was offended by the Pizza Hut bottle.
Oh yeah.
The offensive ketchup.
Yeah, the offensive ketchup.
Oh, I purged that from my mind because it was just that retarded.
It's pretty stupid.
How could you forget Adrian?
So if we can turn our attention to something a bit more factual. So basically, I got this inspiration from watching TV, and there was a cooking show on, and I was thinking about restaurants and things, and they had this celebrity chef, and they mentioned he's got like Michelin stars. So I thought, okay, I'll find out about those. They call them Michelin stars, because they're fancy in French, but actually they're Michelin stars. They're from the tire company. Michelin stars, the restaurant rating system. It's from the tire company. But the amazing fact is that they rate the restaurant on everything, and indeed the quality of crisps will determine if you get a Michelin star or not.
Seriously?
Yeah. But, well, if I can give a little bit of background, do the YouTube thing, and give a pointless background to the thing I'm talking about. Way back in the day, when Michelin, the tire company, started, there weren't very many people buying tires because, there weren't very many cars. So they came up with an idea, right? They came up with a guide to the country, which was France, and they put like points of interest in it, like sights to see and restaurants to eat at, and the idea was to get people driving around and traveling. So if you're driving around, you'll buy tires. Yeah. So forgive me, I don't have my glasses. I'm trying to read these years. I really need to zoom in.
It's okay. You're colorblind. We forgive you.
Yeah. So
To
to
give
give you an idea of how old these are,
They
right?
help me see bullshit.
The Michelin guide started in 1900, but the star system wasn't implemented until 1931. Yeah, you're already shaking your head already.
Wait, hold on a minute. Is this bit true, or is this part of the?
No, well,
Is this part of the true or false, or is this bit true?
This is true or not true. This is
No, I know that. I know the story is true or not true, but is the true or false based on the crisps define the rating, or is what you're saying now true or false?
Basically, no. The true or false.
Well, let him finish, and then we'll do like the final.
The true or false question. I'll just skip to the end then.
No.
No. Continue with your thing, and then we'll sort of do the final question. Is that
Okay, well, the star system was introduced in 1931. Do forgive
Is this Mr. Black seems to be really enjoying this?
Forgive me, anybody listening.
I like watching them squirm. Trying to think of stuff.
I haven't even been asked any questions yet. I'm only squirming.
Well, I asked you a question, you didn't answer.
Okay. So basically, they started off just rating the food, right? Or whenever they introduced the star system, they based it on only the food. But then it was noted, some restaurants have great atmosphere, or have terrific staff, or great facilities. So now they rate literally everything. So they rate, not only do they rate the food, like the starter, the main course, and dessert, and whatever other courses they're doing, because they're silly, fancy restaurants. But they also rate any mints that are available after the meal. They will rate any snacks that they have beforehand, anything that's on offer, including different little pastries and sweets, including nuts and crisps. They will rate those as well, and it is possible for it could lose a star for one thing being wrong. If your toilet is blocked, or if your crisps are not crunchy enough.
Whenever you say crisps, you mean like freshly cut potato crisps, not just the things from a Walker's packet.
Well, yeah, I imagine if you had like a super fancy restaurant and you ended up giving somebody a pack of Walkers after that, between their meal and their dessert, they'd be pretty disappointed.
Oh, they dish out the kettle crisps.
Oh no, these
are posh ones.
These would be. Obviously not. Like, if you don't have crisps, you will not get a Michelin star. But if you have crisps, they better be up to scratch.
Shitty crisps.
The Noma restaurant in Denmark is a 3-star Michelin star restaurant, and that's like the most you can have, 3 Michelin stars. And it was noted in the last review that the crisps were lovely and crunchy.
Right. So, what's the actual true or false here? What is the question?
Does the Michelin star does it include a rating on the crisps?
I thought it was going to be. So that's actually true then.
What?
The whole tire company.
Yes.
Started it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you about earlier.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh, I thought that was going to be the true or false bit, but not that
Oh,
they
really? I
actually
thought
rate
that
the
was
fucking
common.
crisps.
I thought that was common knowledge.
No, well, I didn't know that, but I don't know a lot of things. So, wow, really?
Damn, well, I've misjudged. I've misjudged this. I went into far too much detail. So I could change it around a bit if we want to rewind and just say, did you know that the Michelin stars is related to the tire company?
Well, I mean,
But
does the Michelin
that's
star
true now.
then? See, the way I always thought about the Michelin was like, I didn't know. I thought restaurants got their certification because of the chef. Like the chef was like a Michelin star chef. So then the restaurant was like, okay, that's a Michelin restaurant now.
Well, chefs are the ones that would shout about it. You know, it'd be like, I guess you could look at them like Oscars for movies. Like if a chef will obviously cook food, and the restaurant will be rated on that. And if a Michelin star is won while he's a chef at the restaurant, then there'll be a Michelin star chef. But it's the restaurant that has the star. So I mean, like, but it's a strange way of looking at it. But I suppose you could look at it like,
But does that
well,
mean
in that case, then
does that not mean if a restaurant gets awarded a Michelin star with another chef, and then a new chef comes in?
well, I think it's retested.
Okay.
Because because they test them regularly, so like the 1-star places get reviewed every few years, but the 2-star and 3-star restaurants, they get reviewed every few months.
Oh,
making sure that they're
up to scratch.
still up to scratch.
It's like the
they
super.
test everything out.
It's like the super hygiene rating, isn't it? Like, you know, like at the hygiene rating in front of the doors. It's like, you know, the test above and beyond that.
Yeah. Oh, just as an aside here, I have eaten at both a Michelin star restaurant and a place with a 0-star hygiene rating.
At the same time?
No.
Same place?
Goodness, it wouldn't be at the same time. And I got to say, the 0-star hygiene rating place was much nicer.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, this Michelin star restaurant, right? It was really big and fancy, live pianist and everything. But you know, you ordered the chicken, and there's a little cube of chicken
Bollocks
in the middle of your plate, and I was like, "Where's everything else?"
That make me want to go to KFC.
Exactly. I was thinking, it's kind of nice, but I want Burger King now.
Man needs quantity.
We're not sponsored by Burger King, but just saying, Whoppers are very good. If anybody from Burger King is listening, we are open.
Yeah, it pisses me off with the whole Michelin star. Like, it's just what's that word? It's just like pretentious at that point or something. Like,
yeah. Apparently, it gets you a load of attention. There was one woman got a Michelin star in her restaurant, and she wanted to get rid of it because people were coming in with too high standards, apparently. But anyway, back to the point. Do the Michelin star reviewers, do they take everything into account? Do they include the crisps and the mints?
But you
and the nuts?
You said earlier if you don't have crisps, it wouldn't cost you a star.
Well, no, but whatever you serve needs to be top quality.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do serve crisps as a...
So what you're saying is you have a better chance of getting a Michelin star if you serve less?
Do they take into account... Well, I'm assuming these are like bar things, just like, no, like nuts that sit at the bar and all that. And like,
yeah. If you got crap nuts at your bar, you're going to lose that star.
No,
then don't serve the nuts. Just don't risk it.
Yeah. I suppose you don't know when the Michelin star review is going to come around. They're in disguise.
Yeah, but just never have it. There you go. Stick to your set menu.
Mm.
At least you can control it all. Don't leave nuts at night that people can tamper with.
So are these restaurants also based on things like efficiency, like how quick your food arrives and like, you know, the cleanliness?
They're based on service and also the
ambience and stuff, like
the ambience and the facilities as
well. That's
well.
actually true, is it? Like, that part?
Well, you see now. That's kind of the thing, isn't it? Well, I'm saying that the Michelin reviewers they review literally everything, including the crisps and the mints and the toilets, everything like that.
Right. What? Say you have a limited selection of food, would that affect the amount of stars you get?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you gotta have a wide selection of food.
So whenever you said earlier it wouldn't cost you to have a star by not having crisps, you lied.
Well, crisps aren't technically part of a meal, I guess. I mean, they're a snack, but they...
Yes, but you also just said that the more of a selection if you have, then better your chances to get a higher star.
You're confusing me.
Well, no, it's like, you know, because all the Michelin star food tends to be tiny and, you know, for people with eating disorders.
We're going to go around here. You said earlier on, the crisps having Having the crisps wouldn't affect your chances of getting a Michelin star. I then said, well, with the variety of food that you have, would up your chances of getting more Michelin stars.
Having more variety.
Yes.
It's about having high quality crisps, not about having crisps.
No, because a lot of
Yeah,
those,
but
you see a lot of those restaurants though, they do have tiny menus. It's like, well, that's what you're getting that night, basically from like a bunch of like 3 or 4 different
yes,
things.
but I did ask if you have more of a variety, does it increase your chances of getting a star?
Yes.
That does more.
So
about the
by
quality,
taking, so you need the crisps to have a chance of getting a star.
yeah,
No,
no,
not necessarily.
Okay.
it's just like a bonus.
Yeah.
It's not like a necessity thing. But if you put a crisps and they happen to be shit, like they detract from the restaurant, then I'd be like, nah, that's
Exactly. I mean, you could totally. I mean, I've been to restaurants where you have like an after dinner chocolate, and it's like it just ruins everything.
So that would cost them
After
a
it.
Michelin
That
star.
would cost them a grey star.
like an after it or something. Can't stand after it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think so because they're like an afterthought. It's not like unless they're on the menu, crisps, like all the crisps, please. I don't think it would affect it. That's like saying they would rate the cocktail sticks for like
So-
picking at your teeth.
Flavored cocktail sticks are quite good.
Minty ones though.
Right. So, say the question one more time. What is it?
The question. I mean, what are we?
Yeah.
rating?
What's true or false?
That the Michelin star reviewers will base part of their review on the quality of the crisps, or the mints, or the quality of the toilet.
Okay. But do we not have to say there if it ruins the meal and that will cost you a star?
Hold on, so hold on. So we're not just talking about crisps. We're talking about crisps, toilet. What's the other one?
Or
But if they
mints.
take,
I
but,
don't know. Crisps,
we established
crisps
that they-
was mentioned, and that seems to be like the most unusual one to me. Like, you don't get crisps.
Oh,
But
but
if-
so it's crisps, toilet, and what else?
And like sweets and mints and stuff.
then he's just admitted that it's true then. If they take it all into account.
Yeah, because like why?
If they take it all into account, then yes, they do.
But can it swing a review?
Well, from what you've just said, yes.
Well, if the Michelin guy ate a crisp and it gave him the shits for a week, probably. Like if they were,
All right then. So you're about saying true.
sure. Yeah.
I think we got to move on. I think this story's gonna.
Well, it's
sucking
part of-
this one dry pretty much.
It's part of the food, and if they prepare them in house, then yes, I would say it would.
If they're snobby enough to like, oh, this tiny cube of chicken's amazing, then I'm sure they'll fuss over the crisps. So yeah, sure.
Well, I can tell you, it is false.
Oh.
No Michelin review has ever mentioned crisps or mints.
What was your question?
Do
What was your question again?
Do the Michelin stars
The reviewers, the dudes. The
do the
Michelin man.
Do the Michelin men. Oh, gee, that's forgotten now. That's a terrible story. Let's move on.
No. What's the question? I want to confirm the question. Not sure.
Do the Michelin men, when they review a restaurant, do they take the quality of the crisps and the mints and the toilets into account whenever they're making?
See, now you've just expanded it. If
I'd
it's the
say they
crisps,
would take the toilets into account though, because if they go into the toilet and it's a fucking dump, then that would detract from their star.
yeah, but is the Michelin star not
It-
just about the food? Well, you said it was about the ambient of the food.
It is about the food.
But
It's pretty much just it's obviously about the ambience and the service and everything like that. But
Surely
They would-
cleanliness would come to
the
account
only
as well.
time you would ever mention a toilet in a review is if it's blocked or something. And
I'm just saying, like, if you had like a amazing restaurant, it's all like, oh yes, this is the cream of the crop, the fucking queen would eat here, and then you go into the toilet and it looks like Britain's worst toilet from Train Spotting.
this is
But-
Like that would affect.
They just have never mentioned crisps in their reviews, no?
No.
Okay. But maybe that is just like a sideline thing that they do take on board. I don't know. They just don't bother writing about it.
well, possibly. So basically, this entire segment has been a total waste of time.
Yes.
Nobody knows if it's true or not. Even me now. I have no clue. I don't know.
I think there's a little bit of a.
You think like the cafe at the Michelin factory?
I don't know. I think they take the whole thing into account, but mainly the food and the crisps would be if they're in house made. I would assume they would take that as in. It's just they haven't never written about it, so I don't know.
Do you have like a source?
Not really.
Oh, brilliant.
Welcome to Some Dude Shared Podcast. My name is Mr. Gray, and I don't research anything.
Fact checking.
So,
Who needs it?
who's next?
Let's see. Would you like to go, Mr. Red?
Sure.
Go on.
God, that's going to take one hell of an edit, so it doesn't confuse the audience.
I promise I will research the next one for at
Keep the
least
whole
10
thing
minutes.
in. If we're confused, they deserve to be confused as well.
No, I think the primary thing they review would be the food.
Or hold on. So you're just saying you're saying false then? Because I said false.
It's false.
Did you say false?
I think you said it's true.
You said it's true.
I said it's true, but you said it's true as well.
It's true, Mr. Black.
Oh, I said it's true. That's right. Yes.
All right. So he's trying to sneak in a win there.
There we go. I guess I'll call that a win, but I'll deduct my points because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Half a win.
I don't know. Michelin star. I can understand that it's primarily about the food, but they would take everything else in. But it's primarily about the food.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was in-house made potato chips, that's part of the food. So, you know,
Right.
they could have an amazing starter, amazing main course, and dog turd for dessert, and that would just ruin the whole thing.
Or a turd in the toilet. Or ruin the whole thing too.
Right. Anyway, moving on.
Thank
Something a
goodness.
bit more sensible.
Now, is it set in the war?
Yes.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, I do like the war stories.
Oh, World War One.
Nope.
2.
Nope.
Vietnam War.
Nope.
Napoleonic.
World War Iraq.
It's in the era of the Vietnam War.
All right. 60s.
Cold War.
All right.
That wasn't really a war, was it though? It was a bit of a war. But
Yeah, there was a lot of intelligence wars going on. That's where we're about to find it.
let me guess. Frogs with C4 inside them.
I wish.
Ribbit.
No, it was the real frogmen. It was men dressed up in frog suits.
Excellent.
Anyway, during the
Oh, it's gonna be another one.
there was frogs with C4 inside them. Ribbit. Anyway, during the Cold War, a British intelligence agent by the name of Derek Hall was operating in East Berlin in 1965.
Okay, that's
Part
Sure,
of
be
false.
expected.
He was responsible for a number of activities during his time behind the Iron Curtain, relaying messages, surveillance, and handling local dead drops.
Okay.
One night, having just left off a dead drop, Derek was making his way back to his apartment building until he decided to stop in a convenience store to get a pack of cigarettes. Unfortunately, while he was in the shop, 2 patrons in the store decided to have a brawl. And not wanting to be anywhere that would draw the eye of the local authorities, Derek automatically went to leave, and as he made his way towards the door, the 2 brawlers knocked into him and the 3 of them fell to the ground. As Derek crawled away from the dust-up, and as he got to his feet, he was met by 2 Stasi officers
Oh dear.
Oof.
who had noticed the disorder and came into the store. They placed Derek and the 2 men who were fighting under arrest for a public disorder. Derek was taken to the local police station, where he was questioned to his role in the events in the store, until a man in a suit with a Russian accent came in to the interview room and placed a sketch and a series of grainy photographs that appeared to be Derek on the table. Derek assumed the man must have been KGB and denied the allegations of being a foreign agent, but the Russian man didn't believe him. To add to this, the interviewing Stasi officer, who also was in the room at the time, wasn't convinced by Derek's German accent.
Tried to do an Arnie impression. Nah, that wouldn't swing.
I sound Austrian if you did that. It'd basically be like trying to sneak into I don't know, trying to sneak into London, but you sound like you're from Edinburgh.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, despite the dire situation developing in front of him, Derek kept it calm and continued to deny any allegations against him. Eventually, the interview came to an end after nearly a day, and the Russian man said to the Stasi officer that Derek was to be held in a jail cell, until he could be moved to another facility. So Derek was taken to a cell, but luckily enough, it was a cell with a barred basement-style window, and no facing cell, so no cell across the way from it. So nobody would see what he's doing. So Derek sat down on the cell bed, took off his sock, because they'd already taken his coat and shoes off him. So he took off his sock and unscrewed his hallux toe, also known as your big toe. So he sat down, took his sock off, unscrewed his big toe,
Right.
because during the Second World War, during the winter of 1945, Derek lost his big toe to frostbite while serving with an armoured division. So
Well, yeah, that's to be expected, I guess.
it's not as warm in the tanks as you think.
So he unscrewed his toe.
Yes.
What was in this fake toe?
Well, while he was serving in the armored division, and when he joined the intelligence, he was given a prosthetic toe that attached to his foot by a screw socket placed on the top of his foot. The toe had a small compartment that could be accessed by unscrewing the toe. This would hide a number of things, from messages to toolkits that could come in handy if caught. So he pulled out a lockpick and a file from the toe.
Okay, so his big toe, had space for a lockpick. Which, okay, they're pretty
It's
small.
not real. This toe's prosthetic.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's still a toe. So, and a file.
Mhm.
Can't have been very big, the file, I mean.
Well, maybe it folded out or something, or maybe it was just a bit of metal with a bladed edge.
Okay, did he manage to escape?
Okay, well, so Derek, knowing he was in a bad situation and had no other option, he used the file to cut through 3 of the bars and push the decaying frame from around the window out of place. He crawled out of the window, and with no guards around, Derek was simply able to walk from the cell window that was at the back of the building, around the building, between the perimeter wall and the building, out of the compound. It was the middle of the night, so Derek thought the gate guard was either in the middle of changing shift or off to relieve himself. After escaping, Derek couldn't go back to his apartment and went straight to a secondary safe house and waited until he could be smuggled to West Berlin.
So he escaped because of what he hid inside his toe.
Yes. Is the whole story true or false?
So, well, Mr. Black.
This is during the Cold War, 1965. You know the oddities.
Oh, yes. I mean, pretty much everybody in Berlin around that time was a spy.
Weirder things have happened.
Yeah,
So you don't have to-
like 90% of the population of East Berlin was just a spy.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll say true. Because it's not that weird. If it would have been like his toe was a C4 bomb, then sure, that would have been
Mini grenade.
like a mini grenade.
Well,
Fire on the toe.
that actually kind of makes more sense, to be honest. I mean,
That man threw a toe at me. It's going to blow.
the thing I just don't. This is such a really small thing to pick a hole in, but how small was that file? It must have been tiny, like the kind of tool you get in a Christmas cracker.
That was a big toe though.
Yeah, it's a big toe, but how big is your big toe? Like
Pretty fucking massive to be
2
fair.
inches
like.
long, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he made it prosthetic, so he could have just made it freakishly big looking. You know, it could have been any
Bear
size.
in mind, this is also. I think there was a story of a man who had a file under his skin going into prison.
I heard about that before too. Like a guy that like people have been able to just hide things and like underneath the top layer,
Wow.
like fish it out again.
That's pretty heavy metal.
He's had some real metal.
There's a lockpick as well, and it just happened to be the right size for the prison.
No, he didn't even use.
I didn't use a lockpick
He didn't need the lockpick. It was just in the kit.
in the kit.
So he just happened to have it. Well, it's not that he just happened to have it on. So the toe can be used for a variety of things, from carrying messages or whatever. But if he was out and about, like to the dead drop, he would put this kit, if it caught, in.
I thought you were gonna say like there was like a cyanide capsule or something in the toe.
No, that would be in the tooth.
All right. That would suck. You know the way like you bite your tongue whenever you're eating something? What if you accidentally cracked your tooth? Oh.
I'm sure it's happened.
It would add a bit of flavour to your food.
I just crunch. Oh no. I forgot.
Well, you'd be dead within like 2 seconds, so you wouldn't be like...
Not really. It's quite slow and painful, cyanide.
No, it's
What
not.
angle
It's
your head's at.
pretty damn quick. It's
And
just
if you're looking
messes up.
down at the time, then it all just sort of melts out your lips. But if you're looking up, then it goes all down your throat. So
If you take it properly, you die straight away within a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
If it messes up and doesn't work correctly, then it's not. Probably won't even kill you. It might just seriously disfigure you.
lovely.
Hmm.
Well, I'd rather in that case, I'd rather have it in my toe. But
It is the Cold War.
This is
Yeah, I'm saying true.
It seems kind of silly to me, but the stuff that you've shown us about what the real things really makes me question reality in these sort of things. So,
But do they not do like a strip down whenever you go into the prisons? Like they take everything off you. They like do like an up and down, you know.
especially in East Berlin, where there are like 6,000 spies.
Yeah, well, I'm
it's
sure they
like a-
checked up his bum and everything, but
Yeah.
it's a prosthetic too.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Well, let's check out
Probably
that
look.
toe.
I'm assuming since this was given to him by the intelligence services, pretty damn realistic looking.
And but I mean, have you seen prosthetics in the early days? They look rubbish as well.
That's true.
Well,
Well,
like
they
today,
were
you get really good looking prosthetics.
we're in East Germany.
But this is the intelligence services.
Yeah.
So they're going to have.
British intelligence as well, right? So,
Yeah, and they love their cookie plans.
mm.
I'm gonna say true. But
I'm. One of these days, one of these stories about a prosthetic or about an animal with a grenade tied to it is gonna turn out to be false. So one day I'll say false on this one.
I can tell you it's false.
what? I was nearly sure I heard that story before.
No.
Did he? Was there a guy with an unscrewable toe though?
No. Not that I can find online.
Well,
anyway.
I'm sure that someone with a prosthetic toe can screw it off. But
Or you know what it was? I think it was like a cap, like a fake toe that went over the real toe. That had, like, a
No, what
message
you're
or
thinking,
something.
you would. Well, the one we haven't put up yet is you're thinking of the fake testicles.
Huh?
Remember the fake testicles? They had
No,
the radio?
no. Freaking, it was.
I had a whole radio in it.
You obviously don't remember that. That's why I was like, why is he questioning the file thing?
But no, I was really. I was nearly certain I heard something or like a fake thumb that people have stuff in it. Like I don't know. I was nearly sure I heard something like that, or I don't know, but sure.
Well,
And so
that was fun.
I got one
So
of
that
these.
was false, but the bloody
the ball sack,
The
the
ball
radio ball sack.
That was true.
ball sack is true.
See, that's why I thought you'd believe it.
The fucking like the cat transmitter was real.
Cat transmitter, yes.
Yep, and the chicken nuke.
Yeah, why?
The
Why
chicken
didn't,
nuke.
why didn't you just believe me, Mr. Gray? Why?
Well,
It's obviously not real friendship.
moving on, Mr. Black. What's your story?
Citizens of a town once hung a monkey thinking it was a Frenchman.
No, false.
That sounds like the town that hung the elephant.
Was it Murderous Mary? Is that what it was called?
I can't remember. I just remember there was a town that hung an elephant.
I know of a elephant that was hung, and it was called Murderous Mary because she went on a rampage and killed loads of people
Well, that's
I think you're.
with a machine gun.
I think you're taking part of that Murderous Mary story.
So basically, this story takes place in England during it was the Napoleonic Wars. So France were going mad, and this actually happened. It was in the northeast of England in Hartlepool.
right.
Basically, what ended up happening was a French ship had basically crashed offshore on the beach in Hartlepool. It was a really stormy night, couldn't see where it was going, and just went shipwrecked. Now, the only survivor on this ship was a monkey. All right.
Okay.
Which was dressed in a French army uniform.
Well, I'm sure he was like a little mascot or something.
Now it was like a fisher town, like it was a seaside town. The fishermen, they discovered the monkey, and they just promptly decided to put it on trial. And because the monkey didn't answer their questions, and they had never seen a monkey or a Frenchman before, they immediately assumed that it was a French spy.
Okay.
No, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. If you made it up, you knew people wouldn't
They
believe you.
didn't, notice
No, this is in the
tail or anything.
1800s, so I mean,
Yeah, but it's just like if you were to
Yeah,
make.
the 1800s.
early 1800s, like 1806.
But
like
you-
Napoleonic Wars were then.
I just think this is so stupid. You wouldn't make this up because there's no way you would convince somebody it's true.
Yeah, but stranger things have happened.
Carry on with the story, Mr. Black.
The monkey was found guilty and duly hanged on the beach. There's a few reasons why they did this. Obviously, the first one was they never saw a Frenchman or a monkey before, so they assumed it was a French spy. And also was that villagers couldn't claim salvage rights if there were any survivors on the ship. So villagers couldn't claim salvage rights on the ship if there were any survivors. So that's why they hung the monkey.
Because they thought.
They thought, well, he would have counted because, he walks
the
away.
So they were early PETA members believing animals could own property.
Well,
Well,
they
no-
didn't think it was animal, did they?
Well, I don't think they wanted to
I'm joking,
Did
Mr.
they?
I'm joking.
Well, I think they thought, well, he looked human enough. He was in a uniform. Let's just put him on trial like a human then, and we'll be able to salvage the ship.
I believe this is where a football chant comes from.
A football chant.
Yeah, there's a football chant.
Yes.
Hartlepool.
Hartlepool, yes. The term monkey hanger is a nickname for Harputlians, and along with chimp chokers, it's worth noting that this can be offensive to Hartlepoolians. So, if any Hartlepoolians happen to be listening, some of them do wear it as a badge of pride. Like, yes, we did that.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure this is a football chant because I'm pretty sure this got accused of, being the ism.
Ah, yes, the old ism.
The ism.
You monkey hangerisms, but
No, the
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I can't imagine how a chant about how a chant about hanging monkeys could be seen as ist, or have anything to do with ism.
Hartlepool United FC has a mascot
Right,
called Hangus the monkey.
Angus the monkey.
One wearer of the monkey suit became the first directly elected mayor of Hartlepool while wearing the costume of Hangus, but he was forbidden to wear it while in office.
Oh, that's
So,
disappointing.
Wasn't allowed. There's said to be a statue of the monkey erected in Hartlepool. 2 statues. One actually collects change. It's like a little money box for charity.
Lovely.
And there's also a Scottish folk song called "And the Bedammers Hung the Monkey O."
Hint.
I think there's an English version too called "The Hartlepool Monkey."
Okay, so let's hear a little bit more about the monkey.
Well, it was found on a
Is it a tiny? Are we talking like a little capuchin monkey, or is it like a chimp? Or
Well,
Did it have a little
wore a
hat?
uniform, so I'm assuming it was like a sizable enough monkey.
is it,
Did I have a little hat?
Well, it was dressed in a
wouldn't be
uniform, so
without
yeah.
a hat.
Oh,
I'm assuming it had a wee hat.
That sounds really cute, to be honest.
How could you hang it?
Sounds
It's got a neck.
like the monkey out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
You see, that confused me because, like, how can you hang a monkey? Because they hang themselves all the time. Like,
Well, they don't hang themselves with a neck.
It should tie its hands up first.
yeah,
It's
but I
pretty
mean, surely,
gruesome, actually, when you think about it. I don't want to think about how you hang a monkey.
you sure you can climb up the rope, you know.
Yeah, well, as Mr. Gray said, you'd have to tie its hands up and
Yeah.
tie its legs up, and it wouldn't be able to.
This is
No,
it's pretty horrible.
I'm gonna go with true because of the football chant.
What is the football chant?
I don't know. I just remembered it was accused of an
I
ism.
don't think you're allowed to say it. Are you?
Now, I want you to bear in mind there is a football chant.
I don't believe we have to say it here.
No. Like, if there is a football chant, I don't know. I'm not sure. But if there's a football chant and if there is a story, a legend of a monkey that was hung in Hartlepool, the question is true or false. The citizens of a town, Hartlepool, hung a monkey thinking it was a Frenchman. That's the question.
So it could be
Oh.
it could be a legend, but not be true.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That makes things more complicated.
See, now it just makes me really think they did hang a monkey, but they just didn't think he was a Frenchman. But then why would they hang the monkey?
Because it was like wartime.
But then
No,
if
the
it was
alert
into,
level was as high.
but you said about salvage rights,
Yeah.
so that they hung the monkey
You'd
for
have
the
to
salvage
start-
rights, but did they believe he was a Frenchman?
Well, if you talk about salvage rights, if you're at war with a country, then you don't have to worry about that.
Well, they could have just thought it was a really hairy man. We're like, well, we're not going to risk it, so.
It's a very hairy man with learning difficulties. And can't speak.
Well,
And
see,
he's
what confuses
incredibly strong.
See, what actually confuses me about this story as well is there were no survivors on the ship.
Right.
Was there anyone? Like, was there bodies on the ship?
Just no mention of it.
Maybe they abandoned the ship and the monkey was messing around and didn't get into the lifeboat.
He was monkeying around.
He was just monkeying around. No, I seem to remember this being on the news, the chant being accused of an ism, and they explained where the chant came from, and I'm pretty sure it was this story. So I'm gonna go with true. But as for they thought it was a Frenchman bit, I don't know.
Wasn't that something about like miners or something? As in
No,
miners,
I
like digging the holes in the mine.
no. And now you're trying to flex it. Just makes me think it's true. So I'm gonna go with true.
I'm gonna say false. It sounds like it would make a good urban legend, but I don't think it's.
It's
I don't think it's true. It's too silly.
it's the French bit.
It's,
Did they think it's a
there's no way
Frenchman?
that they would think a monkey is a Frenchman.
Well, they probably thought if the thing is if the monkey was a legit member of the crew, which it could have been anointed as a because I mean I think there was like a saint somewhere that like anointed a horse
And they did also
as part of a clergy.
hang an elephant for murder. So
what part of the what role would you give a monkey on a ship?
that's just a mascot, as you
Yeah.
said.
Well, you wouldn't have him like swapping the decks or loading the cannons or anything.
Well, no, I'd be throwing banana peels down to cause hilarity.
No?
Probably did. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with true.
It was more likely just to entertain the crew.
I'll say false.
So you're saying true, you're saying false. It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Goodness. Those monsters. Poor
Yeah.
monkey.
Well, I think it's not so much because they didn't know what a monkey looked like or what a Frenchman looked like. I think they're well aware of what they look like. It was just if that monkey was deemed lawfully a member of the crew and they salvaged the ship, then there could have been some legal things. So they're probably just like, you know what, let's just kill it and cover our bases.
Yeah, you don't want to break the law with the country you're at war with.
Well, no, because I think it was not something like.
The Napoleonic era was very honourable war.
Well, it'd be
No, but it was not
it
something
would just be
like
maritime law.
But the citizens then.
I suppose then actually the government would have to hold them responsible
But-
for looting a ship.
Yeah, because that would be government property then. Like, it'd be spoils of war for the government. But then I think the citizens were like, oh, we'll just take this shit for ourselves.
Well, I don't know if it would be spoils of war for the government or it would just be if the ship had a company owner or something, the materials may have to be returned to them.
Yeah, like evidence or, intelligence.
Well, no, that just, like say that it was a merchant ship that belonged to a French company, then they would have to return the goods if it, I don't know. So it's true.
Yeah, I know. True story. Hartlepool's, aka monkey hangers. Don't go to Hartlepool and call them monkey hangers because I don't think it's a very nice thing to say.
No, it's not.
Or chimp chokers. Some of them do find it funny. Like, it's like it's a funny thing, but some people don't. Or some people just can't laugh at anything these days. Not even ketchup.
Chimp choker sounds like basically slang for somebody we call monkey spanker. Yeah, like chimp choker,
Monkey spanker.
monkey spanker, master polisher,
Choke a chicken.
yeah, that sort of thing.
Anyway, on that note.
So if anybody listening has ever held a trial for an animal and found it guilty, please put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
And if anyone would love to clarify the Michelin star business,
Yeah, because honestly, I
does-
have no idea what I'm talking about.
how you actually obtain a Michelin star, that would be great.
And stick to more basic stories in the future.
I should actually point out as well, there are actually about 6 rugby clubs in Hartlepool, and 2 of them have like the monkey on their wee badge as well. So I think they both have the monkey, and in one of them, the monkey's like sort of hanging from the gallows.
Sounds like they're just guilty or feeling guilty about hanging a monkey.
That's
Well,
really,
I don't know, but I think it's like just holding on to the gallows, like, just having a good time, just holding on itself, not actually being hung on the gallows. That'd be messed up.
It's
Yeah.
a weird thing to make your logo out of. It's
Well, they
Kind
were
of
a badge of
silly.
honor, But yeah, they do have statues there as well. So
Well, until next time,
yes. Until next time.
goodbye.
bye bye.